Well, hello, everybody. I hope that you all are enjoying your holiday weekend. If you're here in the U.S., it is Memorial Day weekend, so you get that extra day off of work. And I'm very excited about today and having the opportunity to speak with someone who I've been getting to know over the past year. She joined my course, I want to say, maybe a year ago. She'll tell you about it when she comes on. But I have to say that this person really took a hold of the information and ownership of it and kind of made it her own and made it a point to figure it out. And so we're going to talk with Andrea today about her experience as far as having an interest in trading, what she's learned thus far, how she's progressing, and any tips that she may have for people who are interested or who have been trying to trade and not seeing a whole lot of movement. So I am going to bring Miss Andrea on. How are you?
I'm great. How are you tonight?
Good. Very good. Thank you for being here with me and being willing to share your story. I get a lot of emails and comments and DMs saying, you know, who else has this worked for? So I can finally put a face to that and, you know, introduce you to the people. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and I've been here about 3 years. Prior to that, I'm in Florida, and then lived in California for a while, and then St. Louis.
You're all over.
And then I grew up in St. Louis, but I really like this area. I have a 7-year-old son. He plays hockey, so that keeps me busy.
Okay.
And, yeah, so that's kind of...
Okay. And Andrea, what are you a full-time trader or do you work? Like, what's your situation?
Yes, I would say I'm a full-time trader, but I also work part-time.
Okay. And what do you do?
I'm a mortgage broker, so we do investment lending. My husband and I have an investment lending company, so we do investment lending all over the U.S.
Okay. And for anybody out there looking to buy any investment property or needing some financing, where can they find your information?
We're at coast to coastmortgage.com.
Coast to coastmortgage.com.
Yes.
I'm going to put it up on the screen, and that's COAST.
And then the number 2, and then
Okay.
ASTmortgage.com.
All right. I'll put it up on the screen so that if anybody out there is interested, they will be able to find where you are. And where do you guys do mortgages at?
Well, we do them all over. We actually do a lot in Atlanta. My family lives there, and that's kind of been our home base. So we do there's a lot of investors there that we've been working with for several years.
Okay. And what is and I'm sorry, there's a little bit of a delay. What is the type of loan sizes that you lend?
We work with a lot of investors that just are doing short-term rentals, and so they are not, they pull money, they refinance their homes and do, I would say 800 to $1 million, or sometimes six or 800.
Okay.
So it's not like hedge funds. It's just people like you and me that have money that they want to invest and have some short-term rental money coming in.
Got you. Okay. Well, if anybody out there is interested or needing finance, make sure you check out Andrea's website at coasttocoastmortgage.com. And then Andrea, it seems like you got a lot going on with a son, with a husband, working. Like, how did you get interested in trading? And then how do you make it work?
Well, what really interested me at first, I think what had to do because I was in the finance industry. Mm-hmm. And I just found economics so interesting, as far as like what moves the market, mm-hmm. all the economic reports that come out on a weekly basis, and mm-hmm. the mortgage rates and all that. So everything is just so tied together, and I never really fully realized that until I started trading.
Yeah.
All markets are so connected, and so if one goes up, one goes down.
Yeah.
Vice versa, so they're all correlated in some way. So I was just wanting to I was interested in finding out more about.
Okay. And so would you say you're like a data geek?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I like data too. I like data too. So just tell me a little bit about, with all the things that you do juggle, what does a typical day look like for you when the market is open?
I get started early, even though I wake up at like 5. I always have, and so I trade the London session, the end of it, and then kind of get all my trades set up for the day. I do a lot of analyzing and check out the fundamentals and kind of plan out what I'm going to do. So I start my day. I really basically do a lot in the morning. So I have things set up by, I would say, 10:30 or 11. I find that there's like a dead zone after like 11, 11 to 5, I guess. Mm-hmm. For me, it's kind of.
Okay. And when you say you get things set up, what does that mean?
I place my trades.
Okay. So you actually do like a market execution.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you ever utilize like limits or stops?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I've had a lot of luck with those as well.
Okay. And was it difficult to learn how to do?
It was, I think, because I was so hands-on in the beginning. And so it took, I had to be really confident. And so I think that comes as you get more practice and experience, the confidence to place the trade, and then just, have your stop loss and check that's going to pay out.
Yeah. Along with some other things. But yes, you are absolutely right. I agree with you that with experience comes a little bit more confidence. And so you kind of relax and just let things flow. So that's good that you've gotten to that point. I should have started off with asking you, how long have you been trading?
Actually, I think it's been like my 1 year anniversary, pretty much, right?
Anniversary. Okay.
I was thinking about that this week. I was like, I think I started this time last year.
Yeah.
Around May.
I think it was May that we predicted. Yep. And when you first started, would you say that you put more emphasis on technical or fundamental analysis?
I did put more emphasis on technical. I really dove into your course and did the multiple time frame analysis. I really got comfortable with looking at the monthly, the daily, the 4 hour, monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour. I got really comfortable with support and resistance levels, and then being able to analyze from the top down to see how the market was moving. And then the Fibonacci, I mean, that's the best thing ever.
It is. I call it like a secret weapon. Yeah, I love it. But let me ask you this. When did you start to introduce fundamentals into your analysis?
Well, I didn't realize how much of an impact fundamentals made until I would be in a trade, and then just the volatility would spike and I would have no idea why. And I really wanted to find out why that was happening. It's not that it was a negative for my trade. Like, a lot of times it fell in line with the trade, but I was just really interested in I really wanted to see what was going on behind the scenes and why price did what it did. I think I was just more curious than anything. And then I started really, really I liked learning about it.
Okay.
Well, interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. But you know what? And you probably seen some of the comments in the group where people saying they kind of get overwhelmed. I guess my question would be to you, what advice would you give somebody who wants to introduce fundamentals into their trading, but not be completely overwhelmed with trying to marry the two together?
I mean, I would give them the advice that you and I talked about a while back about if your entry comes into play and price is where you're planning, if you have your chart marked up and you have your entry right there, and if news is coming out, I think that if you do the technical analysis and you already have it planned out, you should just go ahead and take the trade and not be afraid of news.
Mm-hmm.
I place entries and plan out my trades based on technicals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trade the news. I don't trade based on fundamentals. I trade based on technicals. And then a lot of times, so with news, it makes your levels come into play.
Yeah.
Volatility.
Yeah. So it pretty much is like a catalyst into what you probably are foreseeing on the charts.
Right.
Okay.
They do play hand in hand a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the time, of course, but
right.
A lot of the time, it's like that. There was one trade called JPY a while back.
Yes.
It just kind of played, and then you had the resistance levels to protect you a little bit. And so it's kind of.
I think that got me. I think I did a video on that. That got me too. JPY is just, the fundamentals plus the technicals was given a potential sell at a significant resistance level, and it still just shot straight through. So I think you're right and wise in saying that it doesn't always go hand in hand. It's not a guarantee, but it definitely can help to inform and strengthen an analysis that you may have.
Yeah, and it can just it can put the pieces together and answer questions as far as what's going on. Why is the dollar doing this? Or what's going on with the yen?
Yeah. So where do you go to get like your updates about, fundamental, what's happening worldwide? And then how did you gain a better understanding of the types of the reports that were coming out?
I really like FX Street. I go to that every day.
Okay.
We get an idea of the majors. It talks a lot about the majors, and
And can you explain to people what that is, just in case they don't know?
FX Street is just a website that talks about fundamentals. So it's
Majors. What's major?
yeah. Oh, Euro USD, GP, Great British Pound USD, USD JPY.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a lot of the USD pairs, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the USD kind of, all the other pairs don't necessarily move with it, but it does tend to drive a lot of volatility.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure.
I really like howtotrade.com. There's a coaching group there that I've been following, and he comes on and does live streams every day, and he's really good at explaining fundamentals.
Okay. So. Cool. Very cool. And then you kind of explained a question that I had regarding how did you educate yourself, but you say you got a hold of or you found me on YouTube for your technicals, and then you found a supplement for your fundamentals, and you able to put the two together in a way that makes sense for you. So that was one of my questions. But follow up, how would you describe your trading style?
I would say I'm a hybrid between technical and fundamental. I place entries and trades on technical analysis, and then I also understand fundamentally, like with, for instance, the yen. I mean, fundamentally, it's really helpful to understand that the yen is very weak, a weak here, and why it's that way, and why it tends to be bullish, not bullish, bearish towards all the other currencies. Yeah. And then, there's a lot going on this year with fundamentals, with all the interest rate cuts. Central banks say one thing one day and then something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's interesting to understand, with the economic reports coming out of the European Central Bank, and then the, talking about interest rates really can weaken that currency if they're talking about cuts, or it can strengthen it if they're talking about hikes, or even the New Zealand interest rate decision this week. If they were talking about hikes again, so very hawkish. So depending on if a country is hawkish or dovish, can really change the direction of that currency. So if you're looking at placing, I wouldn't want to place a trade if I knew there was going to be an interest rate coming up. I wouldn't place a trade based on that currency being bullish. I would place a trade based on it being bearish.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then would you describe yourself, even with using fundamentals and technicals, would you describe yourself as a scalper, a swing trader, or intraday trader?
This was definitely, I had to be really honest with myself, because in the beginning, I really liked the idea of being a swing trader. And I would say I'm like partly swing trader and then partly intraday.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah. Like if I can get a really good trade position on a pair, I will consider swing trading if I get into like the top or the bottom.
Yeah.
But I find mentally, I do like those 1-to-1s or 1-to-2.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like I'm in and out and I make the money. Price doesn't go against me, even though I understand why it does. I just don't like to see.
You don't live through the ebbs and the flows, basically.
Right.
And go on a roller coaster.
I like the 1-to-1s.
Okay.
1-to-2s. I think there's just kind of more safe for me.
Okay. So have you found that you've been able to utilize like what you've learned about Fibonacci and multiple time frame analysis on those lower time frames?
For sure. Yes.
Okay.
Sure. I mean, I think they work on every time. I only go down to the 15. I actually do a lot of trading on the 1 hour as well.
Okay.
No, it's intraday. I still use the 1 hour and the 15. And then, of course, I like the 4 hour too. I like all of them.
Yeah.
Have their benefits.
I think I can't say this for sure, but I can only share like what I experienced. So when I started out shorter term trades, like 25, 30 pips, then slowly started graduating up. And then it was when I understood just a little bit more about how the market moved that I started moving towards swing trading. So it wasn't like I started off the bat just swing trading. It was a gradual process to that level once I became more comfortable with the way the market moved and understanding what was happening. So I wouldn't be surprised if you keep at this, that you start to incorporate more swing trading into your strategy or your approach. But the fact that you've been able to incorporate your technicals that you've learned through, like, well, I say someone like me who does swing trade and been able to apply them on the lower time frame, I think that's very valuable. For sure. Yep. So I want to get into just a little bit about what we've been experiencing over the last 6 to 8 months in the Forex industry with all of the changes in the United States and the regulation and the cracking down of, when you first started trading, did you know that there was a difference between like a regulated broker and an unregulated broker? And which did you choose to pursue?
I did. I just went with the regulated broker from the beginning. I did a lot of research and I wanted to just I just went that direction in the beginning.
Okay.
So I've stayed with the same broker since.
Okay. And so you were able to find regulated broker on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think what I hear a lot from people, they're like, well, what broker do you use? What? I'm like, you guys just Google. Just Google. You'll be able to find a lot of information just spending a little bit of time in researching. And I guess my next question to you would be, have you found it difficult to grow your account with that regulated broker?
No, not at all.
Okay. Do you see that you're more of an intraday, so I could see you getting more reps in and being able to compound faster, as opposed to holding and trying to do it that way. If you had advice for people who are looking for brokers, what do you think the positives are about working with a regulated broker?
I mean, I just feel like it's a little bit safer, as far as protecting your capital. And honestly, the fact that they make you have as much margin as they do, it protects you in the long run because the margin requirements are a lot higher. But I think it's great for beginners because it keeps you from blowing your account.
Yeah, it forces you to learn real quick. Otherwise, you're not gonna have anything.
Leverage or low margin requirement. I would have blown my account.
Yeah.
Without that.
Well, that's what I try to tell people, is that it's going to force you to become a better trader. And I know a lot of people don't get that off the bat, but I think it forces you to really stick to your rules as far as that you have in order to execute, and to really hone in and dial in on your technical analysis as far as your entries and your exits and whatnot. So I would agree with you that regulated is the way to go. And as Andrea said, you can find information about regulated brokers by doing just a little bit of research, guys, if you're in the United States. So how did you find me?
I found you on YouTube. I was just looking for trading videos and I came across your video and I just instantly connected with you. And I felt the way that you broke down and explained the information just made so much sense to me. And I just felt like, honestly, I kind of felt like I was just hanging out with a friend of mine. Like it was just relaxed. It wasn't it was just very relaxed. I was surprised to get the information across in a relaxed, laid back way. But it just made, like I said, it just made a lot of sense. You were able to describe it and explain it with so much simplicity, which I liked because it doesn't have to be hard. It can be very simple.
It can. It can. I think there are enough things in life that are complicated. Why add to the list? So, let's see. When did you feel like in your journey that things started to come together for you as far as being able to understand when you pulled up a chart and understand what was happening, how you should enter, where you should get out? How long did that process take?
Um, it came in stages, but I would say probably I felt really confident after 6 months. But I will say that it's almost like putting puzzles together. And once in the beginning, it's like once you put a puzzle together, there's another one to put together after that.
Mm-hmm.
Another one to put together after that. So it's like a series of putting puzzles together, figuring things out. And you have to have the mindset that it's going to keep going. You're never going to be able to put that puzzle together and be like, all right, I'm walking away. I have it figured out.
Yeah.
Be another one to figure out. And so if you like that challenge, which I do, I like that, that's what keeps me trading is that challenge.
Yes.
So I think you have to accept the fact that it will never completely be figured out. There's always going to be new things to learn and new ways to improve or, and just give yourself grace too, because each trade that you lose is a learning opportunity.
It is. I agree. It is. So leaning into that a little bit more, when you do lose the trade, do you go back and do you study as to what happened on the technical side, fundamentally? Like, what does that process look like for you?
Yeah, I keep notes. I keep a journal. So I go back and write notes or figure out what happened. I feel like the trades you lose, you can learn almost more than the ones that you win.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Do you backtest?
I have casually. I wouldn't say I've done like major studies on it, but I have like looked at certain strategies and backtested, gone back and looked, especially the fibonacci. It's like you can go back and easily see how price turns at 60, at a certain level.
Yeah, key levels. Yep. I would agree. I think a lot of people though get hung up on back testing, and I've never done that a lot. What I do is just go through the pairs and mark up, and then like you watch how they play out, and then I'll go back and see what happened and what I need to do differently or what I may have missed, and then adjust from there. Right. But I've never been a big back tester. Not at all. Okay. What area do you struggle in right now? You're a year into the journey. What is still difficult for you?
Honestly, I have to be honest, it's still risk management.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to say, like, if I feel really confident about a trade, I'll probably put more on than I should.
Oh.
So it's more like that. Well, I can do a little bit more, and it's like it's actually I've gotten it way more under control the past few months.
Okay.
I've actually seen like I guess I'm very aggressive, I'm like I'm more of a risk taker.
You're not risk averse.
Risk management it was hard for me, but I realized over time that even though I feel confident about a trade and I might put more on than I should, you actually end up making more in the long run if you just keep your risk under control, like, to 1 to 3%, 1 to 2%, or, it in the long run, because what happens if you're too aggressive with your lot size is you may make a lot in one trade, but then it doesn't always go your way. So the next trade, you lose it all.
Yep.
So
I think once you properly learn how to manage risk, you kind of, you're able to have like steady growth. So if you follow that process, like it's not, oh, am I going to lose 3,000 a day or am I going to lose 500? Like if you stick to the same process, you're going to see consistent growth over time. And it's very tempting to bet it all, like I just know this is going to happen, and then it doesn't, and it goes.
You're like,
So I've been there. And like you, it took me a little bit of time just to realize, like, if I stay in this regimen, if I stay and follow this process, like this is going to be better for me. So I would say that it's a constant, like, I don't want to say mental battle, but like you just have to, it's discipline basically, you know? It's like, you know, you're not supposed to eat that ice cream and that burger if you don't want to gain weight, but still people still eat the ice cream and eat the burger for the instant or immediate gratification, you know?
That's
So
exactly what it is.
yeah. So it's mental, it's discipline. So um and it's funny that I found that a lot of people who trade or people who are involved in real estate or athletes or, you know, people who are in fields where it's required for you to have some level of mental toughness and some level of discipline. So I don't know if y'all know, when you sell mortgages, your income comes from commission, right? So you have to have a certain mental fortitude to be able to get up every day and hustle and go make that money. Because if you don't, you don't get it. You don't get a check. You don't get paid. So I think that's interesting. I think I got a couple more questions for you, and then I'm not gonna hold you up all night. I'm gonna let you go. You already told me what you would do to strengthen this area. I guess my question for you is, where do you see yourself in the world of trading in the next 5 to 7 years?
Well, I have found out over the past year that I am 100% a trader. Like, it's just, it's who I am. So I feel like it's always going to be part of my life. And I'm probably going to keep doing it as much as I can. I do it. I'm like obsessed.
You're obsessed. I get it.
I mean, I'm putting my son to sleep. I'm like on my phone, checking out stuff. Like, Mom, are you trading again?
Oh, he knows that you trade.
Yeah, he sits on my lap sometimes, and he's like, "Can you tell me how you do this?" And like, buy low, sell high.
I think that's really cool. I think children should be introduced to it early. I think it's a great skill set, and I think that sometimes we put limitation on children and what they can accomplish and do. But I think if you start teaching them young, like you expose them to it at least, so that if there is an interest, you planted the seed so that it can potentially grow later.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Okay. So my last question, or almost last question, what advice do you have for people who are looking to start trading and people who might be on their journey right now but have been struggling for a little bit?
I would say that your success is right around the corner, no matter how hard it is. I've had some bad days. I've had some really great days, but I've had some really challenging days.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to give yourself time and patience and allow yourself to learn how to do it successfully. There's no magic, unfortunately, there's no magic to make you a great trader. I think there's a lot of misperceptions out there that it's like, oh, I'm just going to figure this out in a week and make a bunch of money.
Right.
It's like with anything else, there's a long process of learning. Even though I picked it up really quick, there were so many other levels that I had to grasp, to find success. And so I would say if you have to be ready to put the work in, I would say it's hours, if you really enjoy doing it, it doesn't feel like work.
I agree.
I never felt like I was working. I really liked it. So I would say that, it's really rewarding. It's really fascinating. The more you learn about it, the more you want to do it. It just, and the income potential is limitless.
Yeah.
Another nice thing. It's just like, however far you want to take it, you can take it whatever your plans are for it.
Right. I agree. But that means that people can't quit just because it seems a little difficult.
Do not quit, please.
Just because it seems a little difficult. But I totally agree that you're going to get out of it what you put into it, and to give yourself some grace and patience throughout that process. And I guess what I'm going to close with is, what goal do you have for yourself in the trading realm over the next 12 months?
to have more, I feel like I'd like to have more confidence, because I kind of like still like, I don't know if I should take this trade, or let me check this, what this other person might think, or let me look up this, check on something. I feel like I'm very reliant still on other opinions in the market, or instead of just kind of like going with what I feel is the right trade.
Have you found that your gut is usually right combined with whatever analysis?
Then I don't trust it, and then I see the trade go my way and I didn't take it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like that.
Yeah. You definitely have to, regardless if it turns out good or bad, I think you got to trust yourself. I think that's the only way for you to reach that goal of having confidence, is taking the trade, whatever your analysis is, taking the trade. And then if it doesn't work out, going back, studying why it didn't work out. And if it does work out, making sure you make a note of what you saw, and what pieces fit together in order for it to play out. So, I think you're well on your way. I appreciate your genuine interest in the skill set for sure. I come across a lot of people who are looking for like overnight success and don't want to do the work. And I can say that is not you. And I figured that out pretty quickly. I appreciate your engagement and your passion, I guess I could say, because it almost seems as such, for the skill set. So I know that you will end up being very successful and continue to grow in this space. And so if you guys didn't know, if you are watching this video, Andrea is my moderator within our Discord group and also within our Facebook group. And so you'll see that she periodically drops information regarding fundamentals or even technicals sometimes on her thoughts on what's going to happen in the market. So I would definitely encourage you to say hello when you see her in the groups, and thank her for participating and helping you guys out and sharing her thoughts. Because that's definitely a scary thing to do, especially if you don't know if it's going to go right or not. Like, I'm about to look crazy in front of all these people, but that's a part of the process. So I appreciate your boldness. So thank you again for joining me. I'm glad to have had you on, and I look forward to seeing your growth in this process.
Thanks for having me on as well. And I'm glad I could be here with you and explain how great this community is.
Awesome. Okay, well, we'll connect soon. I'm going to sign out, and we'll connect.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So you guys got an opportunity to chat it up, or actually watch me chat it up with Andrea. And I'm being very genuine and honest when I share my sentiment regarding her journey and just watching her grow as a trader. I think that she has taken ownership of learning the skill set and putting in the time, putting in the work. And I will not be surprised in the next year to see how far she has gone and how much she has grown. So if you are interested in joining a community of traders or like-minded individuals, I encourage you to join the no-cost Forex Facebook Mastermind group. And I try to put out videos here on this channel featuring technical analysis, and then also some tips that, based off of my experiences that I have had as learning how to trade and navigate this industry for the past 7 years. So I appreciate you guys for watching. I'm going to let you go back to your barbecue and enjoy your families, and I will see you